Hello friends, welcome back to CloudPedagogy FAQ session. Today we are going to discuss about AWS Management Console frequently asked questions. So let's start. What is the AWS Management Console exactly? The AWS Management Console provides a simple web interface for Amazon Web Services. You can log in using your AWS account name and password. If you have enabled AWS multi-factor authentication, you will be prompted for your device's authentication code. So how do I sign into the Management Console? You can sign into the Management Console using your AWS or IAM account credentials at console.aws.amazon.com/console/home. For the AWS Government Cloud region, you can sign into the Management Console using your IAM account credentials at console.amazonaws-region-government.com. If it is the US region, you can see console.amazonaws-us-gov.com. Next, how can I find a service in the AWS Management Console? There are several ways for you to locate and navigate to the services you need. At any time, you can select the services menu in the top level navigation bar to see the list of all services grouped by category or search for the services using unified search. On the console home, you can select services from the favorites or recently visited widgets. Next, how can I create favorites for the services I use? Yes, you can add or remove the services you use to favorites in the console. On desktop, once you hover over any service name, you can add or remove the service to the favorite section by clicking on the star next to the service name. On the mobile or tablet, you can add or remove the service to the favorite section by clicking on the star next to the service name. Next question, what can I expect to find under Build a Solution? The Build a Solution section on the AWS console homepage features various simplified and automated workflows and wizards that utilize and introduce you to different AWS services. You can use these tools to create the resources required to build your intended solutions. What can I expect to find under Explore More? The Explore More section on the AWS console homepage presents training and learning resources for various platforms and use cases that might interest you. Selecting one of the categories presented in this section, you can find introduction videos, webinar recordings, simple tutorials, project guides, self-paced labs, documentation, and other resources. Next, when does my session expire? For security purposes, a login session will expire 12 hours after you sign into the AWS Management Console with your AWS or IAM account credentials. To resume your work after the session expires, click Login to continue and log in again. The duration of federated sessions varies depending on the federation API and the administrator's preference. Next question, how do I configure settings for the Management Console? Select the account name and select Settings to access Unified Settings. Here you will find settings that apply to all services in the console. These settings will persist across browsers and devices and are specific to your user and account. These are basic general FAQs about Management Console. But how do you manage your application in AWS Management Console? Next, we'll try to understand what is My Applications dashboard on AWS Console Management. Before that, let's understand what is an application. An application is a collection of resources and code that delivers business value, such as a customer-facing application, workload, or backend process. So why should I create an application in the console using My Applications on AWS? Creating an application using My Application on AWS provides access to a new set of capabilities that help you operate applications with less effort and move faster at scale. After creating your application, you can access the My Application dashboard to easily monitor the cost, health, security posture, and performance of applications and dive deeper across your AWS experience to quickly troubleshoot and remediate issues with prescriptive workflows. Next question, Can I track my application resource cost and usage using the My Application dashboard? You can visualize, manage, and understand your AWS resource cost and usage for an application with the cost and usage widget on the My Application dashboard. You can compare your current and previous month's cost, as well as you can view the cost breakdown for AWS services used by your application. You can also view monthly cost trend charts. After your first Access Cost Explorer, the current month's data will be available for viewing in about 24 hours. AWS Cost Explorer is offered at no additional charge. There are no setup fees or upfront commitment. Can I use the My Application dashboard to evaluate the security posture of my application? Get an overview of critical and high severity security findings for your application with the security widget on the My Application dashboard. You can also view critical finding by resource type and click to access more detail for any finding. Next, can I access performance and metrics for compute resources using the My Application dashboard? The Compute widget on the My Application dashboard populates after you set up one or more EC2 instances or Lambdas for your application. You can track CPU utilization and network traffic for EC2 instances and Lambda invocations and failure rates and associated alarms as well. Next question, can I use the My Application dashboard to monitor a summary of performance and health for my application? You can set up alarms, canaries, and service level objectives to see insights in the monitoring and operation widgets on the My Application dashboard. Quickly scan the metrics and click to access more detail. Next, can I use the My Application dashboard for DevOps for my application? Access operational insights such as fleet management, state management, patch management, and configuration management status to assess compliance and take actions from the DevOps widget on the My Application dashboard. You should know more about configuring Ops Center so that you can access Ops summary items in the DevOps widget on the My Application dashboard. You can also configure your instances to access patch scanning in the DevOps widget using the My Application dashboard. Next question, are there any costs to use My Application on AWS? My Applications on AWS is offered at no additional charge. There are no setup fees or upfront commitments. Usage charges for the underlying resources and services that the My Application dashboard summarizes still apply at published rates for those resources. Next question, what is the AWS application tag? The AWS application tag is a user tag that adds register events when you create an application. This tag consists of a key and value pair. The key is AWS application and the value is the AWS resource name of an AWS resource. Use the AWS application tag to add and remove resources from applications and identify which resources are associated with an application. When you add the AWS application tag to a resource, the resource becomes part of the application you specify. I appreciate your time on this FAQ session. Hope it was interesting and helpful. See you again in my next video. Until then, take care.